First up, news for Netflix users. The streaming giant is hiking up those prices. Depending on what plan you have, you could see an increase ranging from an additional $1 to $2 a month. A Netflix statement obtained by CNBC says we're updating our prices so that we can continue to offer a wide variety of quality entertainment options.
We're paying more to watch less. Prices are up, content is down, and the entire streaming industry is quietly collapsing under its own weight. This is the story of how Netflix, Disney Plus, and every subscription platform built the new cable, and how the bubble they created is already starting to pop. In 2015, Netflix was the future. In 2025, it's the warning sign. The average American household now pays over $42 a month for streaming. That's more than $500 a year, often across 4 different platforms. But with every price hike and canceled show, audiences are realizing something dangerous. Entertainment has become a subscription trap. The story begins with an illusion, the illusion of choice. We cut the cable cord to escape endless fees, and somehow ended up with 7 streaming services just to watch our favorite shows. In 2019, the average household subscribed to approximately 2.4 streaming platforms. Fast forward to 2025, that number has jumped to nearly 4. Yet what used to cost under $25 a month now easily crosses $60 once you include ad-free plans, sports add-ons, and those sneaky extra user fees. Netflix has raised prices 3 times in the last 4 years alone. Their standard plan, once $13.99, now costs $17.99. Even their ad-supported plan jumped from $6.99 to $7.99 this January. And if you share your password, that'll be another $7.99 per month per extra user. In the same period, Disney Plus went from $6.99 to $13.99, and Max introduced its own price bump after merging HBO and Discovery content. The pitch was always pay for what you love, but now it's pay for what we decide stays. Because here's the quiet part no one talks about. Every time a show gets deleted from a platform, it's not just creative failure, it's financial engineering. Studios are writing off entire shows to claim tax benefits, sometimes wiping billions of dollars from their balance sheets in content impairment charges. Warner Bros. Discovery, for example, wrote off between $2.8 and $5.3 billion in deleted content between 2022 and 2024. So when your favorite series vanishes overnight, it's not just about taste, it's about accounting. The streaming bubble isn't just about money leaving your wallet, it's about value disappearing from theirs. Because when audiences can't afford streaming anymore, they don't stop watching, they start pirating. In 2024 alone, piracy sites recorded 216 billion visits. That's more than double the numbers from 2019. The industry thought we'd trade ownership for convenience, that we'd rather stream than buy. But as prices rise and trust falls, we're rediscovering an old truth. Convenience dies the moment it becomes too expensive. The streaming boom was supposed to be about freedom. Instead, it's starting to feel like a new kind of monopoly, one we signed up for ourselves. And the worst part? The people running these platforms knew exactly what they were building. The streaming business was built on one promise, that if you pay monthly, you'll always get more. But in reality, you've been paying more to get less. Behind the glossy home screens and algorithmic recommendations, the subscription model has quietly turned from innovation into inflation. But here's where the cracks started to show. Not 1, but 5 fractures in the foundation of streaming itself. The first fracture? Too many subscriptions. Consumers hit the wall. You can't pay $15 here, $10 there, and still have money for Wi-Fi. The second major problem is content overload. Billions spent, but audiences are burnt out. Every platform is chasing the same thrill with fewer hits. The third issue was ad fatigue. Netflix's big ad-supported comeback turned out to be déjà vu for anyone who remembers cable. The fourth, corporate arrogance. Price hikes in the middle of a global downturn, a reminder that Wall Street always speaks louder than users. And finally, the culture war. When Elon Musk publicly blasted Netflix for its woke content, it wasn't just a tweet. It was a reflection of what millions were already thinking, that Hollywood's moral preaching had outpaced its storytelling. Together, these fractures didn't just slow growth, they exposed a deeper truth. The streaming boom wasn't sustainable. It was a race to the bottom disguised as innovation. Every empire believes it's too big to fall, but history never makes exceptions. Not for kingdoms, not for corporations, and not for billion-dollar bubbles. Streaming was supposed to be the future of entertainment. Instead, it exposed one uncomfortable truth. Growth without limits always collapses under its own weight. Netflix, Disney, Amazon, they didn't just compete with each other. They competed with time itself, fighting for the only resource that doesn't scale: human attention. In 2025, attention has become the new oil, and the platforms mining it are no longer the ones making shows, but the ones letting you make them. TikTok, YouTube, and X have quietly eaten into streaming's lunch, not by spending billions on content, but by letting creators produce it for free. They built economies where the audience is also the product, the creator, and the advertiser, all at once. While Netflix spent $17 billion on content in a single year, YouTube creators earned $15 billion creating theirs. That's not a coincidence. That's evolution. But here's the deeper shift, and it's one the big studios still don't understand. The subscription model is built on control. Control over what you watch, control over what you pay, control over when it disappears. The new creator economy? It's built on freedom. You choose who to follow, what to support, and how to pay. Sometimes through Patreon, sometimes through memberships, sometimes through tips. In this new landscape, audiences aren't passive, they're participants. They don't want another platform promising content. They want connection, authenticity, and value they can interact with. And that's something the streaming giants can't algorithm their way out of. The biggest disruption to Netflix won't come from other Netflix. It'll come from a million smaller voices who don't need Hollywood's permission to be heard. Still, let's not mistake this for the death of streaming. It's more like a reckoning, a reset after years of excess. And like every collapse, the smart ones will adapt. Netflix is already experimenting with live sports and ad-supported tiers. Disney is pivoting toward franchise-based storytelling, milking Marvel and Star Wars like digital real estate. And Amazon? It's slowly morphing Prime Video into a shopping engine, where the content you watch drives the products you buy. In short, the future of streaming will belong to those who can merge entertainment with economics. Because in the next decade, content won't just be consumed, it'll be commercialized. But there's one more twist, one that's just beginning. Artificial intelligence is rewriting the production pipeline. In the next few years, AI-generated films will appear that are fully synthetic. Characters, voices, stories, all built without human actors. And when that happens, the economics of streaming will change forever. Why pay $200 million for a movie when an algorithm can generate one overnight that trends for free? It's a terrifying thought for Hollywood, but an opportunity for creators who understand technology better than tradition. The next Netflix might not even be a company. It could be a creator with AI tools, an audience, and a story the world can't stop watching. So what comes next? We're entering the post-subscription era, where entertainment becomes decentralized, on-demand, and creator-led. Where fans fund their favorite stories directly, where trust matters more than titles, and where billion-dollar corporations compete not with each other, but with a teenager on YouTube who just learned how to edit. That's the real collapse of the subscription bubble. Not the numbers, not the cancellations, but the moment people realized they no longer needed permission to be entertained. We thought streaming would democratize entertainment. It did, just not for the companies that invented it.